You may be wondering why I am wearing tefillin, known in English as phylacteries. The end of this week's portion, Bo, contains the commandment to wear a sign wrapped around our arm and between our eyes, to remember always our association and connection to God. What does the wearing of tefillin have to do with the Exodus? Because the portion Bo ends with the 10th plague, the death of the firstborn, and the people are just about ready to leave the land of Egypt. What does wearing a sign between our eyes and on our hands, and inside these boxes we have a parchment that contains the 4 times in the Torah that we find the commandment to wear tefillin. What does that have to do with the Exodus from Egypt? And I think it is a fascinating idea because, yes, for those unfamiliar, this might even look like a leash, that we are connected to God in that way. God is our master, we are God's subject. And though that may seem to be a very primitive idea of our connection to God, it allows for a very beautiful and profound lesson. That is that freedom comes with responsibility. The idea of the freedom of the Israelites from Egypt and their exodus, their freedom from bondage, is not just about being free for the sake of being free. It is being free to worship God. Moses says to Pharaoh, not let my people go. He says, let my people go so that we can worship God. And so our faith, our connection to God comes with the understanding, first, that there is a God, and second, that God demands of us certain action and behavior. And when we wear tefillin, when we know that the knots that we find on the tefillin, the letter Yud, behind my head, a Daled, and here on my hand, the letter Shin, Daled, Yud, spelling God's name, Shaddai, one of God's names, so that we understand all the time that we are not in charge, but God is in charge, and we thank God for our covenant relationship and the opportunities in order to worship and be a Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom.